Contracts are about relationships, and relationships we're increasingly having to build online. Now, we're speakers. We want to work, we want to impress our clients, and we need to fill the fridge. Just as Simon said, it's really important that we show up online. Now, a few years ago, a series of clients found their perfect fit. He was available. He was able to meet their needs, and he was a fellow of the Professional Speaking Association. But these weren't corporate clients looking for a speaker. These were single women looking for love. And who they'd found? Our very own Steve Buston, National President and fellow of the Professional Speaking Association. The problem with Steve is he wasn't available. He wasn't able to meet their needs. He wasn't even aware. Steve was caught in a dating scam. These clients were left deeply unimpressed. Now, the way you show up online is critical when we can't meet clients. We need to draw clients in, not freak them out. And that means all the stuff you have online, your profile. Now, we're used to our profiles being, shall we say, a little creative with the truth, knocking a few pounds off, knocking a few years off, but not being a complete knockoff. We need to build trust with our clients using those materials. Imagine if those ladies had ever turned up to a meal with the fraudster and he didn't look like the silver fox that is Steve Buston. They'd have been freaked, surprised, disappointed, and all the rest. Your contracts can have that sort of effect. If you've schmoozed your clients beautifully online and then you kind of give them something shocking. Now, if you've got a Kindle, have you ever looked at the legals? Well, let me tell you about the Kindle we bought my mother-in-law. She's a massive walker, does loads of reading, perfect for travelling. She's probably been to more summits this year than the rest of us combined. And we gave her a Kindle, and 12 months later, we're having chit-chat over Christmas. And I ask, slightly smugly, it has to be said, how are you getting on with your Kindle, Liz? Well, we kind of left out one tiny little thing that we'd forgotten. She's a bit of a stickler for following the rules. She'd opened her Kindle all excited, logged into the Wi-Fi, tick, and then she got to the page that said, read the terms and conditions. Now, if you grab your Kindle, you might be surprised to find there are 379 pages of legal stuff on a Kindle. 379. Now, as an author, I understand the real importance of those terms and conditions, preventing people ripping off my stuff. It took me 25 years to learn that stuff, and my books might be short, but they're full of really useful tips. So yes, I want the terms and conditions to protect my IP, my books, my expertise. But 379 pages? That's like pretending this 79-year-old from Mask in the northeast of England is going to break into the Pentagon. We don't need contracts that clients can't read and can't understand, because then they can't use them. So I'm going to show that you can do it really quickly. If you look in the vault, you'll get this, a 500-word speaker contract. It's less than 2 sides of A4. It's certainly not 379 pages. It has the bare minimum you need to create a really great contract with corporates. It has your talk title, your materials, how many books you're going to give away. It has the platform you're going to use, say it yourself. It has your backup plan, like Simon needed for when Virgin went down. It has all the stuff you need to look at copyright. Can they copy? Can they not copy? Who gets a recording? All the stuff that you need to draw clients in and show corporates that you are the trusted person to do what they need you to do for their event. You don't need to make it really complex. See, in times of uncertainty, what we really need is a kiss. No, we're not that sort of kiss, and in COVID we can't do it. What you need is to keep it simple, speakers. I don't mean that you're simple speakers. You need to keep it simple, speakers, because nobody needs complexity. You can use a template, adapt it to make it yours, to make it fit with your branding, your tone of voice, what you want to achieve, the value and benefits you give to your clients. You need to be careful though. You need to stop looking like an amateur. Does anyone remember Seabourn Freight? Now, Seabourn Freight were given £13.8 million of UK taxpayers' money, that's your and my money, in order to provide service in the event of a no-deal Brexit. And then somebody had a look at their terms and conditions. Well, their terms and conditions were a bit more like a pizza delivery company. You are not a pizza delivery company. You don't want the terms and conditions that make you look like a pizza delivery company. If you're not Steve Bustin, and let's face it, most of us aren't, you should no more copy his contract than you would his online dating profile. If you don't have a relative who wrote Frankenstein, like Alan Stevens, you shouldn't talk his talk. And let's not even mention the starfish story. But the problem with copying and pasting is just because a fellow of the PSA has never had an issue doesn't make it a good contract. Disputes don't necessarily come because you got a good contract, but you can copy stuff which is the equivalent of quoting the Morabian statistic in your talk. So a couple of months ago, I was talking to my ideal clients about running a series of free webinars to promote my latest book. They sent me their 2-page contract, and like the contracts expert I am, I read it. Well, it made sure that they own the recording. I get that. That was fine. And then they started talking about the materials which supported my presentations. So that's my books, my 25 years as a contracts expert, my branding, my logo, my website, my image. And this is what they wanted. They wanted a license. Well, they wanted a perpetual, worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free right to use, reproduce, display, modify, distribute, incorporate, or make derivative works based on my materials. For any media, for marketing, for advertising, for websites, for goodness sakes, that is not happening. That corporate refused to change their contract, and I walked away. But I knew really quickly that if they wouldn't negotiate, I had to walk away. You can't let your business be based on someone else's rubbish terms and conditions. You have to make sure that you're in control of the terms where possible, that you've got a backup plan, that you've explained what's going to happen if, I don't know, a volcano explodes, we get a global pandemic, Zoom goes down worldwide, or you get a bug. Is there someone else who can deliver your stuff for you if you're feeling under the weather? See, clients need us to show that we can talk their talk from their perspective, as Simon was talking about. You know, we've stalked the client like Nev suggested, or we've got the referral like Charlie's going to teach you. We've done our fabulous package like Laurie taught us. We've got all that smoozing in, not bamboozling. Let's make sure that our contracts build the trust that our clients want in us. Let's make sure that we use contracts properly. You see, contracts are not just a piece of paper that it's important in a crisis. Contracts are tools to help you do business and to earn cold, hard cash. So you can use your contracts to draw clients in, not freak them out. You can use simple contracts that kiss your clients and keep it simple. And you can use contracts that make you look like the pro speakers you actually are. And when you get that right, well, then the man from Del Monte, he will say yes.